Hi everybody. Hey, Bob Mehsikomer here. I've snagged one of the big names off the floor, folks. Here at the show, we've got some excellent fishermen speaking, but I've got one of the legends, one of the big guys. You guys walleye fishing, you know who he is. But a big round of applause. Bring him on. Ted Takasaki. How you doing, Ted?
I'm doing just great there, Bob. This is a great show. Looking forward to all the people to meet and talk a little bit about walleye fishing.
Oh, Ted, with you, we're going to talk a lot about walleye fishing. There's nothing little bit about you. Nothing at all. You know, folks, I got to tell you something before we get too deep in this. Ted and I go back a little ways. Ted and I shot a few shows together in the past. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ted and what he's doing, because he's grown through this industry, folks. He has a background. I don't know how much he's going to tell you about it, but he has a background. Share with the audience, Ted, what you will about how you got in this industry, how you've made your name in this industry, and where you see it going.
Well, I tell you what, Bob, it's been a long time. I've been in the fishing business for 30 years. I worked at Hewlett Packard for 20 years, and then at the same time started fishing team tournaments, team walleye tournaments. And then, we won, basically the second year in, we won the MWC, the Masters Walleye Circuit Team of the Year. It was at that point I really wanted to be in the fishing business. So worked really hard, got a break when the president of Lindy Fishing Tackle was retiring. I interviewed for that job, got the job. We doubled revenue and quadrupled profit in the next 10 years. And today we sold the company after about 10 years. And then the last 10 years I've been fishing full time, just tournaments and promotions and seminars.
Everybody's got a favorite, Ted, the way they want to fish. You have yours, I'm certain. What would be the favorite the way that Ted Takasaki wants to approach a system?
Well, I prefer trolling to begin with, just because it covers a lot of ground. I'll either troll with inline offshore trolling boards or lead core right straight behind the boat, or maybe even with bottom bouncers and spinners. So if I'm moving along shorelines, I can see where the rock points are. If I catch a couple, then I can step back and pitch at those specific areas, because the walleyes, if they're scattered, trolling is a better way to go after them. If they're concentrated, then you can pitch crankbaits or cast jigs at them. So there's a couple different ways I like to do it.
You fished against some other legends like Gary Roach. Let's face it, Gary's a spot-on-spot fisherman. He drops down, sticks fish, brings them up. And you just talked about trolling. Now, he's spot-on-spot, so he's looking for fish that are targeted structures. You're covering water. You're covering a lot of water. You're taking full advantage of what the resource will offer you.
Exactly. I like to move around, try to find active pods. If I find the active pods, then I'll stop back. I go past them, maybe come through there another time. If I catch a couple more, then I'll stop, and then I'll start casting at those fish.
All right, so we know you're trolling. What's your favorite lure? Pick the lure that you're going to put on the rods when you start. That's key.
Probably a bottom bouncer and a spinner with a crawler. That's probably my favorite ways to do it. You bet.
Bottom bouncer. I had the opportunity years ago to fish with a young man out of Witch Bay, and we went bottom bouncing for walleye on Lake of the Woods. First time I'd ever done it. And I was amazed. I was amazed at how productive that technique was for catching big walleyes.
I think it's a technique you can catch walleyes all the way from Arkansas to North Dakota back down to Texas. I mean, anywhere you go, a bottom bouncer and a spinner with a night crawler will catch walleyes.
Speaking of that geography you just spoke of, where is the best walleye lake in your opinion?
Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of them. I mean, my experience is primarily in the upper Midwest. So I would say if you really want to catch a walleye, Lake Erie is a great lake to be at. In addition to Lake Sakakawea, the whole Missouri River system, Oahe, Sakakawea, those are all great lakes. And then Mille Lacs or Leech Lake in Minnesota.
If I'm not mistaken, and I don't have all the history that I should have, even for this interview, but isn't Greer's Ferry the home of the world record walleye?
That it is. It's in Arkansas. I have fished Bull Shoals and Lake Ouachita, but I've not been on Greer's Ferry. But my understanding is that it's a little tough to catch numbers on Greer's Ferry. So, if you want to start off in a reservoir that, I always say, fish a reservoir that's got a lot of fish.
I'd have to agree with you, no question about it. Now, Ted's also hooked something else, folks. Sitting alongside of me, I'm going to introduce her because she is I'm going to let Ted introduce her. Ted, introduce your new wife.
Well, Bob, it's taken me 62 years, but I've finally found the love of my life. This is Charlotte. She is a wonderful lady. She likes to fish, and we're having a great time. In fact, we got married, Bob, in August, went to Greece in December for our honeymoon, and then COVID hit in January. We sequestered ourselves for 6 months. So we were basically on a honeymoon for 6 months.
I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest with you. I really don't. What's in the future for Ted and Charlotte? Where are they going? What's your focus?
Well, right now, it's the winter time, a lot of sports shows. We're traveling to the different sports shows, doing the seminars and the education and the teaching. And Charlotte just came out with a new book called Courage to Fly. It's a book of inspiration, a lot of Bible verses associated with each one of these short stories. It's in big print so I can read it. And, so it's we're going like on a book tour, kind of.
Wow, Charlotte, let's talk about that for a little bit. This is news to me. I didn't know it. You came out with a new book?
I did. It's an inspirational book for entrepreneurs, and everybody needs to be inspired, right?
Well, you're an inspiration because if you can hang with Ted Takasaki, you're doing something, I'm telling you right now. So you get a chance to go to sports shows, you get a chance to meet some of the personalities that are in the industry. There are some great people in this industry. What's your first-hand opinion now that you've been a couple years watching the circuit, being at the sports shows and stuff? How is Charlotte seeing life on the road at sports shows?
It's wonderful, Bob. I learned so much at each show, and I love to hear the speakers like Ted, like you. I just learn all kinds of tips and secrets, and they're helping me become a better fisherwoman. Is that the term, fisherwoman?
Yeah, fisherwoman. That's a good one. How can somebody achieve your book? How can they obtain your book? Is it available someplace?
Yeah, just contact Ted Takasaki on Facebook, and he'll hook you up.
that to me, folks, just so you know, sounded like a handoff. Okay.
Well, I think it's also available on Amazon, isn't it?
You can find it on Amazon.
You can find it on Amazon, huh?
Yes.
You guys are a great couple. Ted he's been an inspiration to me. Like I said, Ted and I had an opportunity to fish together a few times. One particular time we were coming back from a muskie shoot, and he and I were going down the road. I think we were talking on cell phones, and we just decided to dump into a big body of water in Minnesota and go pound some smallies. I think we did that, didn't we, Ted?
Oh yeah, I think we shot a show in about 2 hours, and had a tough time over 3 days. 14-hour days at Lake Vermilion. So
he's 100% right, folks. That's Ted Takasaki and Charlotte Takasaki, folks. Hey, if you get a chance to see these folks walking on a sports show, walking any place, in a tackle store, in a restaurant when they're eating dinner, come up and say hi to them. They're great people. Trust me. Most of the people in the industry that you run into are great people. These are examples of just that. We're going to move on. We're going to say thanks to these folks. We'll catch you guys on the next interview. Ted, Charlotte, thank you very much for coming on with me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet.